evening, everyone. Welcome to our GratiTuesday. My name is Karen, and I'm one of your capital recovery coaches.
Hi, I'm Raina. I'm one of the capital recovery coaches here tonight. So it's our GratiTuesdays where we go over different activities and topics, all having to do with gratitude. But first, we're going to give you some stuff that's going on in the center. We have row. Our last row outing for June is going to be this Thursday at 10 a.m. at Spirit and Truth Ministries, which is 700 East Landis Ave in Vineland. It's actually like a bigger event than most of the row. They have meals, they have showers, a mobile barber for haircuts, and anything that people are in need of for the day, clothes and that sort of thing. And then the first one we have in July is going to be on the 6th in Upper Deerfield at Countryside Village, Deerfield Drive in Seabrook. And then as far as our meetings, we have the All Recovery meeting that is every Thursday at 1. And then I think you have the other 2 or 3.
Yeah, so we still have our coffee and conversation going on every Tuesday. It's actually our first meeting for Tuesday. It's scheduled at 2. We also have our men in training, which is scheduled for 5 p.m. on Tuesdays. And then our family meetings, which is every 3rd Saturday of each month, from 12 to 1. And the next coming family meeting we are having is on July, July 16th. That's going to be our 3rd Saturday for that month.
And then also, if anyone is looking for peer support, access to treatment, or ongoing peer support, you can call the Capital Recovery Center here directly at 856-391-7449, or you are welcome to stop in, and we're at 72 North Pearl Street in Bridgeton. So we would love to see you. Come join one of our online and hopefully more in-person meetings.
Yes, so all our meetings are, although you may see us virtually, they are also in person. So we welcome anyone who would like to stop by and do this meeting with us. So we're going to talk about self-compassion. We did an activity last family meeting that we had. It's a baggie, I call it an encouragement baggie, where we placed our challenges on the outside of the bag, and then we passed it around and placed encouragement words inside. But we're going to talk about a little bit more about self-compassion and how to practice self-compassion, and then we'll relate what we learned into the activity that we did. Okay, so you would like to?
Sure. How to practice self-compassion. And this is from therapistaid.com. So self-compassion means showing kindness to yourself. It means accepting yourself for who you are, imperfections and all. Self-compassion does not mean giving up on growth and self-improvement. Instead, it's about understanding that you are a work in progress with strengths and weaknesses and knowing that that is okay. I don't know about any of you, but accepting me for who I am is not always easy. It's something that I have had to put considerable effort into. And still I fall short on it from day to day, because we will be our own worst critics, no doubt. Let me keep going?
Yeah.
All right. You probably show compassion to others without giving it a second thought. Yep. It's so much easier to show others compassion than like yourself, for me anyway. Like I can be very empathetic for others, but imagine your best friend just went through a breakup. They tell you the story and you listen from start to finish. Your friend isn't perfect, but they deserve to be happy. You reassure them that they'll get through this. They're a catch and they'll be okay. You don't judge your friend. You don't tell them they are not worthy or that they need to change. You show your friend compassion. So instead of telling, because listen, as friends, especially girlfriends, we can immediately want to jump to that's right and hell with him and that sort of like behavior. But it's so much better to actually listen to what the person's saying instead of just jumping in, at one bad part and then taking it down that route. It's so much better just to let them get everything out and tell you how they're feeling about it, not you being like, well, you need to do this or, any of that kind of thing. And for many people, it's easy to show compassion to others. Family, friends, pets, strangers, and even TV characters are met with kindness and understanding despite their flaws. TV characters, that's a different one. I can see that though. Like, I can't watch reality TV. I can't. As I start feeling embarrassed for people or upset for them or sad for them, I can't do it.
I love reality.
No, what are these people doing?
I'm in it for the drama.
At the same time, many compassionate people are critical and unforgiving of themselves. They hold themselves to a standard they would never demand from others. They struggle to practice self-compassion. Very, very true. There are no simple tricks for developing self-compassion, but there are several healthy habits that may help.
So the first way to practice self-compassion is having a fair attitude toward yourself. Practicing self-compassion means treating yourself warmly, gently, and fairly. It's about having an attitude of acceptance toward yourself rather than judgment, and treating yourself accordingly. Imagine receiving some constructive criticism from your boss. Coming from a place of judgment, you only hear the negative and tell yourself, I'm an idiot. I can't do anything right. However, coming from a place of fairness and acceptance, you hear the whole message and tell yourself, there are definitely things I can work on, but I'm doing a good job overall.
Yeah, you don't want to jump on that negative path right away. And I know a lot of times people who are in a position like managers and supervisors, they use that little sandwich technique where they'll tell you something good, then they'll tell you what's going on, and then they'll wrap it up with something good. And there's a reason for that, because you don't want to focus so much on that one little thing that's wrong. You want to know that you still have good, characteristics and good aspects of what you're doing, but this just needs some work.
Self-compassionate people believe that they are good, well-meaning, and competent. When they make a mistake at work, it's just that, a single mistake.
Mm-hmm.
People who are not self-compassionate often assume the worst about themselves. A mistake at work is viewed as something much bigger, such as a personal failing.
Mm-hmm.
When you're critical and judgmental of yourself, you're more likely to experience unhappiness, insecurity, and anxiety. When you treat yourself fairly, you are better able to manage these uncomfortable feelings.
So I know for being someone in recovery, having that insecurity and anxiety, especially when you're new to recovery, because it's all unfamiliar territory. So there's a lot of insecurity. I can't do this. I'm not good enough for this. I'm not worthy of this. All those things that play through our heads, that are trying to take us out before we even give ourselves a chance to, move forward.
So if you're experiencing any negative thinking, challenge your negative thoughts. For instance, having a fair attitude toward yourself looks like, I may have said the wrong thing, I'll get it right next time, versus I may have said the wrong thing, I'm the worst. And then I made a mistake, I'm only human. That's practicing self-compassion, versus I made a mistake, I always mess up.
And there's a part of self-awareness and self-acceptance, and the positive one, the first one, and self-pity in the second one. And that self-pity, I know, can be like a downfall for a lot of people. Like I suffered with that for a long time. Like I felt sorry for myself. Everything was everybody else's fault. I'm just worthless. I'm no good. You'll be better off without me. Like that whole line of thinking, instead of being like, okay, I'm good at this. I can do this, and focusing on that. And like to say the wrong thing, next time I'll get it right. I struggle with this with my kids all the time. So a lot of times I will text them and then I'll read it and make sure how I'm saying it, probably rewrite it. But I want to make sure that when I'm offering advice or I'm giving my opinion, that it's coming from a loving place. But a lot of times I hear, you didn't have to tell me that. You didn't need to say that. But I listen to it and I try and do better the next time.
Right. That's all you can do.
Mhm.
Accept it and work on it and be better.
You learn from it, yeah. So the next part here, accept yourself for who you are, rather than trying to be someone else. Many of us have ideas about who we should be. A man might believe he has to be strong, brave, and outgoing. A mother might believe she always has to put her needs last. For many, not matching these ideals feels like a flaw. In reality, humans aren't so simple. While some men are strong, brave, and outgoing, others are shy, emotional, and cautious. While some mothers do put their needs last, others value their career as much as their family life. It sounds like a cliche, but everyone is different, and that's okay. What works for one is not going to work for another. And that's what makes us all unique. People who are self-compassionate accept themselves for who they are rather than who they should be. Not only that, but they often take pride in their unique characteristics. For example, a self-compassionate man who is emotional might view himself as being deeply connected to others rather than having a weakness. I like that. We hear that a lot. Like I'm in a 12-step program, and a lot of the men will tell you that trying to be tough and masculine and all that, it's actually a lot of times is what causes men to relapse. Like I can do this. I'm like that whole tough guy mentality. While somebody who is connected to emotions and somebody that's exploring them and growing, they have a better chance at having continued recovery. Self-acceptance does not mean loving every little thing about yourself or believing you are perfect. It means accepting yourself for who you are rather than who you are not. If you don't want to get conceited or egotistical, cross over that line. No, self-acceptance isn't just about gender roles. It includes personality, interests, sexuality, religion, abilities, appearance, and anything else that makes you who you are. Nice. Because really, these days, there's just so much diversity and so much that is so widely accepted. It's amazing that I feel like people are freer to be themselves in a lot of cases, especially when it comes to talking about gender roles and that sort of thing. I know my youngest daughter and her boyfriend, they don't have that typical role. You know what I mean? They have what works for them and they work great together.
So instead of trying to oppress that thing or trying to oppress something just for meeting social norms, you should embrace it and accept who you are.
Absolutely. So accepting yourself looks like a mother who values her career highly could view herself as highly motivated, a role model, and recognize how she provides for her family. A person who wishes they had straight hair could see examples of beautiful curly hair like their own and learn to appreciate what they have. They might still wish to have straight hair, but they learn to like their curly hair too. As a hairdresser, I will tell you that everybody wants what they don't have. They come in with curly hair, they want it straight. They come in with straight hair, they want it curly. Me, I like mix it up, try a little bit of everything. And a person who is not athletic but loves sports could find themselves fitting into coaching or support roles instead.
That's nice.
Work to your strengths.
That is true. So the next one is take care of yourself, rather than denying your needs or overindulging. Even when life gets busy, it's important to look out for your own health and happiness and take care of your needs. This means eating regular meals, getting enough sleep, taking time for fun and relaxation, or whatever it is you need. Taking care of yourself is not the same as spoiling or overindulging. For example, taking a break to eat a healthy meal is not the same as eating whatever you want, whenever you want. So I guess like a balance. Don't overdo it.
Yeah.
This might be easier to understand when you think about caring for someone else. If you're caring for a young child, you don't ignore them when they're hungry. But that doesn't mean you give them an ice cream sundae for breakfast. You think about what's best for them and take care of their needs accordingly. That's a good analogy.
Yeah. And as a grandparent, it's a little harder to do.
Caring for yourself requires a balance between immediate needs and long-term goals. For example, if you've been studying for hours, it's reasonable to take a break. However, if you want to pass an exam, you do need to study at some point. Sometimes long-term goals require discomfort, such as studying or exercising when you'd rather relax on the couch. There's no simple answer for how much discomfort or sacrifice a person should make. It depends on the individual and their goals. But it's important to have an awareness of your own needs and a balance that works for you.
Yeah, self-care is huge. For the longest time, I always felt like I had to go. And then like I just stopped and not realizing that I had never done anything to take care of myself. Not physically, not mentally, not emotionally, like everything had just gone to the wayside, and it starts to break you down. So you've got to make sure that you're taking care of you so you can take care of others.
That's definitely true.
Mm-hmm.
That's also like, I found it difficult for myself because it was hard for me to say no because I was afraid to disappoint others.
Mm-hmm.
So then I put too much on my plate, but I ended up disappointing them anyway because I wasn't there 100%. So I learned to accept what I can handle and without compromising, myself.
On that balance.
Yeah. So self-care tips. Self-care habits might include taking the day off work to relax, eating a healthy meal when you're hungry, exercising regularly but taking rest days as needed. Don't beat your body up. Rewarding yourself with a treat when you meet a goal.
Like a puppy. Now, these are all good, like a mental health day. I know in the past I've let my kids stay home from school for mental health day because it was just as important as their physical health.
Right.
And then eating healthy and at least the treat when you meet a goal to just, you don't want to overdo any of that. You start taking up too much time from work and then you have no job. You know what I mean? You exercise too much and then you're sore. It's a balancing act that, takes some trial and error. What's next? Accept that struggle is normal rather than feeling uniquely bad. You have a front row seat to your own imperfections and mistakes. While others can hide their insecurities, you can't hide from yourself. When you feel bad about yourself or when you make a mistake, it might seem like you're the only one. You are not.
Most definitely.
Like I've learned that no matter what I'm going through, someone else has been through it. And like I know who to go to depending on what help I need. Remember that no one is perfect. Being imperfect is part of being human. Everyone has bad days, loses their temper, and makes mistakes. Sometimes those mistakes are really big. Whatever your struggle, try to put it in perspective. Know that it's normal to have flaws and make mistakes, even if you don't always see them in others. Everyone has bad days, loses temper, and makes mistakes. And it's important too to come back from it. To like recognize it, you know what I mean? Take note of it and just try not to make the same mistake twice.
Mm-hmm.
Recognizing that your struggles are normal gives you permission to feel self-compassion despite any shortcomings. Yeah, recognizing that you are not perfect and you never will be perfect is okay. Like, that's what makes us human. The language of accepting struggle. No one is perfect. Everyone makes mistakes. Everyone feels sad sometimes. That is normal. I'm not the first person to make this mistake.
That's good. So don't keep trying to chase that perfection.
Mm-hmm.
You won't find it.
Just like everybody has, I used to sound so horrible. I used to tell my kids, you're not special. And not that they don't have like these unique qualities and they're not good at things and have like wonderful talents and all, but just, you are just another person going through your life. Like everybody has to do it. Like,
it sounds harsh, but it's the reality.
Yeah, it's not like, you know.
The next one is practice mindful awareness rather than getting caught up in thoughts and feelings. Mindfulness means taking a step back from your thoughts and emotions and seeing them objectively. So like Raina says, when you're having bad days or you lose your temper or you make mistakes, don't just dwell on them, but come back from them.
Mm-hmm.
This is how you see others' thoughts and feelings logically and from a distance. Creating distance from your own thoughts and feelings lessens the power they have over you.
Yeah, because feelings pass. You know, they're not going to be there forever, and they will pass, and, you know, the sun will come out again.
In addition to creating distance, mindfulness will help you become accepting of your feelings. It's common to think, I shouldn't be sad or I shouldn't be angry. Mindfulness lets you acknowledge your feelings without the need to change them. I shouldn't be angry becomes I am angry, and that is okay.
Yeah, it's okay to feel. Regardless of how you're feeling, you're allowed to feel that way. It just, like we were saying, just don't sit in it. Recognize it, understand it, you know what I mean? And know it's okay.
Mindfulness builds self-compassion by creating perspective and acceptance of your thoughts and feelings. This lets you take control of your life rather than being at the whim of your emotions. Additionally, mindfulness will help you practice other self-compassion habits like recognizing when you are being judgmental toward yourself, ignoring your needs, or failing to see your struggles as normal. Learning to view your experiences mindfully makes everything else easier. When you take a step back, you can see things more clearly.
So it's kind of good, like at the end of the day, you know, just sit back, reflect on the day, you know, where did I do well? Where could I have used some improvement? And just being aware of it and using it, you know, as a lesson to help, you know, next day, you know, you can be a little better.
And I've done this a lot lately. I was talking to my friends last time about my conversations that I have with myself, and now I say my middle name is Lisbeth, so I'm like, now I have conversations with Lisbeth. That's what I say instead of saying, you know, I was just sitting there talking to myself.
That's cute.
So the language of did I read that? The language of mindful awareness. I am treating myself judgmentally. I know I'm not being fair to myself. I feel angry at myself, but that does not mean I'm a bad person.
Mm-hmm.
I am caught up in this problem, but it is not the end of the world.
Yeah. And I always tell people, like, when I'm like, I can give you one piece of advice, is to not make a permanent decision on a temporary feeling. Because like it says, you know what I mean? I may be feeling this right now, but it's not the end of the world. So in summary, unsurprisingly, practicing self-compassion is easier said than done. Many people focus on their flaws and feel that they are not worthy of kindness. Others set unrealistic goals demanding nothing less than perfection. After a lifetime of self-judgment, the habit is difficult to break. It becomes more reflexive. But with practice, these reflexes can be unlearned and replaced with self-compassion. It's like any other behavior. If that's all you know, you have to, unlearn and try something new.
Yep.
And
So,
go ahead.
So I was just gonna read what it said. Accept your imperfections, be kind to yourself, and love yourself.
Yes.
All right, so like I mentioned earlier, we did this activity last Saturday, and on the outside of the bag, we wrote down things that we struggle with, 3 things that we struggle with. And since we're talking about self-compassion, we have to accept that, again, we're not perfect, and be mindful of what things we would like to work on.
Mm-hmm.
So as a group, we passed our baggies around, and everyone took the time to observe our bags, take one of whatever we wrote outside of our bags, and write either a piece of advice, an encouragement, or anything that came to mind, which is why I call these encouragement baggies. So Raina and I are going to share our baggies, and I'm going to go first. So on the outside of my baggies, my bag, the things that I struggle with is saying no, punctuality, and stress. You want to share yours?
Yeah, so on mine, I wrote boundaries, which a lot like Karen's is saying no. And I put enthusiasm, or the opposite of boredom, because I get bored with things very easily, a little ADD going on. And then control. So I suffered from lots of control issues.
All right, so we're gonna take turns. I'm gonna read one, and then Raina's gonna read another one. So somebody wrote in my bag, it says stress. Take a deep breath and inhale the fresh breath of life. Exhale all the stress. Meditation helps.
Nice. So I have one for the control issues. It says control issues lead to tension and stress. Letting go of control is healthy for your body. And oh my goodness, this one, it sits right here and grows until I need a massage. But it's true.
So I like
Good advice.
I really like this one. And I guess this one is with saying no. They put no is a complete sentence.
Yep. I use that one all the time. I have to remind myself of it too. All right, we're going to do another control one. Sometimes it's good to let go and let someone else take control. You don't have to stress. And that's true. Kind of like the let go and let God. Sometimes you got to let go of the wheel.
It's true. My next one is put yourself first.
Yeah.
I guess stress, saying no.
Saying no. Yeah. So I'm going to assume that this is for the boundaries, and it says protect your inner peace, which I really like because, you start letting people step over that line, and before you know it, you're the one paying the price for it.
Mine is if you are stressed, then you can go outside and take a walk. Thank you. I have actually. Yep. I remember one time I was so angry that I went for a run, and that was the fastest run I've ever had in my entire life.
I actually will do that sometimes. There's the river runs kind of through my backyard, and there's just one little fishing spot down the street. So I feel myself I will go walk down and just sit there and decompress, gather myself. But it's true. And what do I want to say? So sucks our energy. All right, so I think this is a dual one. The one side says procrastinating actually sucks our energy. Then you're just worried about it all the time. And then the other side says Motivation follows action. Take the smallest action towards your goal and get moving.
That's good.
Yeah.
My next one says, take time for yourself. Do things that make you happy or help you relax.
Yeah, it's good to have like
Stress.
hobbies and things that are just for you. So these, how do you have so many more than me? I only have 2 left. Oh, you still have that one on the bottom. I'm like, hey, where'd you get all them? All right, so I'll read the last 2 since you just have 1 left. And these 2 go with the boundaries. This one says boundaries equals self-care. That's what we were talking earlier about, like that self-care, like in saying no. And then I like this one. Don't set yourself on fire to keep others warm.
That is a good one.
Yeah, I like that one a lot.
My last one is saying no is self-care,
Absolutely.
which is, like I said, something I struggle with, but that I'm every day trying to work on it.
Mm-hmm.
And every time I do get an instance where I get the opportunity to choose to say no, and I actually go through with it and saying no, I feel so proud of myself. I'm like, I did it. I said no. It's like a big accomplishment for me.
It's not easy. Like, I don't know, like when I first started saying no, I would go into this long explanation.
Yeah.
Like, I need a ride. I'm like, no, I can't. I gotta do this, da, 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 da. And I'm like, why am I telling you all this?
Yeah.
I can't. But that's hard to just do. It takes practice.
But definitely.
Yeah.
And then I'm like contemplating after saying no. I'm like, oh, maybe I should have. Maybe I could have done this and that. But I'm like, no.
Don't let that guilt get to you. Mm-hmm.
I said it. It's done. I feel better.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think this is a good, I really enjoyed this. I think this is a great way to, not only put your shortcomings out there and get some positive feedback on it, but to also be aware that you're not alone. You're not the only one. Like what we have on our bags is very similar in, we have 2 that are pretty much the same, so, it's just realizing that we're all human. We all have flaws. We all struggle and we're not alone. And, we'd love for you guys to come in and do this with us one night.
Yes.
Nice big group, get all kinds of lots of positive feedback.
Yeah, it was really nice. When we actually did the activity, we had so some of the positive encouragement sentences come from Carrie's son.
Okay.
So he's like, what, 11, I think? So it was really nice to get also some perspective from a child.
Yeah.
So hopefully, you guys come out and join us. I hope you guys enjoyed our GratiTuesday.
Thank you.
To accept your imperfections, be kind to yourself, and love yourself.